Hello, everybody. Good afternoon, or I should say, good morning. It is late. 52-year-old female, not a guy. But what I'm going to talk about is a couple things I wanted to discuss. And one of them is, I've been looking online. I've been in, like, when somebody posts something that's got to do with the LGBT community or the transgender community. Some of you just go in there and just degrade others, like myself, or you try to. Now, I used to be afraid of people who posted comments negatively about trans people or me. First of all, they've never seen me on camera. No one ever will. Because you all like to make fun of people. And so any platform I go on, if I'm able to turn the camera off, that's what I do. And because I still do, I've got some videos posted that I need to post up. I haven't taken the time to do it yet. Going through some drive-through and filming at different fast food restaurants. I haven't hit Jack in the Box for quite a while, but next time I go up there, I'll want to film because the one at 7th and Street in Buckeye, I think, were the ones I had the problems with. I had somebody tell me I couldn't film, and they complained to YouTube, and YouTube didn't do anything to me for punishment. And I wasn't getting any money for what I'm doing. I am a customer service critic. When I go to a restaurant, depending on where I go and how the staff is when I walk in, I usually film live, or I don't show myself in the video ever. I'm kind of behind the camera, and I usually will try to film the interaction between, the waiter and the way she or he, whichever, could be a girl or a boy, react to us when they're taking our order, see if there's any disrespect. But mainly I go through drive-throughs because, you know, I did try to reach out to the manager at Jack in the Box, but I never got a response, and they gave me a fake number which didn't even exist. But here's what I want to talk about. There's a lot of hate out there for transgender people, and the court decision to ban trans athletes from girls' sports, I think, was very, very wrong. A lot of you think that people have TDS, which I looked it up, and it stands for Trump Deranged Syndrome. And what I have to tell you is, I believe that the people who voted and like Trump, aka Hitler, are the deranged ones. Now, I've had a comment that someone posted to me that if someone is a trans woman, they're lying to themselves. They're actually a man dressed in, which is not true. A trans woman is a trans woman, and a trans man is a trans man. Now, you all don't have to like it. You don't have to agree. But it is what it is. And none of you out there will ever study or look at Stonewall because you either don't care, or if you know about it, you're just going to say what you're going to say, which is fine. But you also have to realize there's another side of that, because trans women are women, trans men are men. It's always going to be that way. And trans people belong in sports. I don't know why the Supreme Court did this. I know that Brett Kavanaugh out of Arizona is one of the ones that made the decision, and he's an idiot, just like the orange-headed buffoon that you all voted for. and you're allowed to have an opinion, but your opinion is wrong. So I used to be afraid of commenting on things whenever people would leave messages and whatnot. But now I've just started giving it back because you have a person in the White House who is a felon, a rapist, and a pedophile, and yet you got a whole, everybody is paying attention to the trans community and they're worried about where they're at in sports. I have to say, I'm kind of surprised because you need to worry, most of you should worry about who's in the White House destroying it. And I know there's going to be some Trump supporters out there, whatever. However, nobody I know voted for him, and a lot of people did not. So, as long as you're going to worry about trans athletes in sports, and yeah, even though the Supreme Court said it's okay, whatever, there's a lot of derbies, roller derby organizations that are in support of trans people being in their arena for sports, and that's a good thing. Trans people are not the issue. Trans people are not the threat. The threat is those who are in support of the current administration and think that it's okay to degrade, to threaten, to verbally abuse transgender people. And what I can't understand is that you guys talk about straight pride. Come on. Straight pride does not even exist. Somebody told me the other day that they asked why is straight pride so important, and somebody come back with, because if it weren't for me, you wouldn't exist, and then it's just baloney. Last month was Pride Month. This month is Pride Disability Month, and even though some of you are knocking that and saying, "Oh, it's just disability, happy disability month," no, it's not. It's Pride Month for those in the LGBT community who are physically disabled. And you guys, you attack and say that trans people are mentally ill and that they need a deal. No. Every time somebody makes a comment about the trans community and you do that and you say that people that are part of that community are deranged and they've got Trump deranged syndrome, you guys, or the ones who think that way, are actually the deranged ones, because most of you supported this person in the White House. Yet he's a pedophile, a rapist, and a felon, and he's getting away with a lot of stuff he shouldn't get away with. Sorry. I think Trump is an orange-headed buffoon, and he's definitely not a winner. I mean, who tears up the White House to build a ballroom? Even Biden called him a loser, okay? Biden said he's a loser because he built a ballroom, tore up the White House lawn and got rid of the Rose Garden to make a concrete walkway. And, that's not right. You should just leave the White House as it is when you're there. And a lot of you don't think that, you think I like Biden and Obama? Yeah, Biden and Obama did a lot for the LGBT community when they were in office. However, the current administration isn't doing anything to protect the trans community or the LGBT community in general. And then you've got haters. But again, most people out there are worried about trans people where they're playing in sports, which they belong in sports, not out of sports. Now, hopefully, sometime soon, if not right away, hopefully the ACLU or somebody that will pick up this deal and put go in and advocate against this decision. I don't know what has to happen in order for the ACLU or Lambda Legal that usually does these things, what the steps are to building a case to try to reverse a decision that they just made. But hopefully sometime soon or in the future, they will do that. And, as far as trans people, why is everyone so worried about that and not worried about the pedophile, the rapist, and the felon in the White House that is destroying and running our country and talking about things that make no sense? Plus, half the time he dozes off. People have called him Dozy Dawn. And I've seen some pretty funny memes or cartoon type things on there with Trump as a big fat baby and Obama sent him as a daddy and whatnot, asking for cookies and stuff. So there's a thing like that people post. Whether they use AI, that's a different story. I don't know. But I don't understand the obsession right now with trans people and trying to make their lives miserable because you don't like them. Trans people have been around for centuries. Marsha P. Johnson, Christina Jurgensen, and others led the advocacy for the Stonewall movement. Whether anybody likes it or not, that's just the way it is. You don't have to like it, but it's there. And this is why most people, advocates, a lot of advocates are talking about this. I've been threatened before on social media, but I didn't stop doing what I was doing. It would be really dumb if somebody tried to find where somebody's at and leave their state to come to the state that person's in just to shoot them because of a comment or a belief or whatever it is they said that made somebody angry. So, regardless of what everyone out there thinks about trans people are not the threat. Again, the threat is those who support the current administration or don't have any knowledge of the LGBT community and what it means and the difference between that and the Stonewall. And until you all are willing to look this up on the internet and do some study, it's going to be that way. Regardless, the movement is still in, and there will always be somebody advocating for the community. That's just the gist of it. But it's a good thing to always learn about history, whether you like it or not, just for knowledge, just for conversation's sake. That doesn't make a person any better because they know about a topic, they've read it, they're interested in it, and when the topic ever comes up, if they can go back and check what they read is to be truthful, which a lot of things aren't truthful on the internet, I'll give you that. So sometimes you got to do research on what you find to make sure it's actually not changed or whatever. But in most cases, Stonewall will always be around. Just that simple. I mean, a lot of you ain't gonna like it because you complain about Pride Month. Why do veterans get a one day? Well, Veterans Day is every day because veterans come home. They've seen things that most Americans would not see, and they have others shipping out, new or other officers that have been in the military for a while that go and fight for the country. So I think that Veterans Day is every day. The troops do a very good job at defending our freedoms. A lot of freedoms we've forgotten what we have, and a lot of times I think we've taken the freedoms that we have for granted. including rights for the LGBT community or any community for that matter, whether it's Sikh, whether it's Mexican, whether it's Latinas, whoever it is. But there is a lot of hate right now toward the transgender community, which I don't understand why. I mean, I do, but I don't agree with it. And it's all because. So, if any of you out there ever hear this and you think that anyone has TDS, which stands for Trump Deranged Syndrome, the people that have it are the ones that are following him, that love him, that think that he's the best thing since sliced bread. Because I can tell you, as a 52-year-old female, I didn't support Trump, aka Hitler, because he's not doing anything for America. He's worried about the rich and the powerful and his friends. He's not worried about the people that struggle every day. He's not worried about the people that don't have any food to put on the table or lost their food stamps and have to find a way to get food for like lunch or dinner. He's not worried about that. So, with that being said, you have to wonder. And I've seen a lot of people say that they are no longer a Trump supporter. It doesn't matter. It's like a car wreck. You can hit that car at an intersection. You can be sorry all you want, but the damage is already done. So, if you want to say that you don't no longer support Trump, that's fine. The point is, you did vote for him and you got what you wanted. Now you're just upset because you don't like him and you're trying to switch sides, which I don't think is going to work too well for most people if that's the way you are. Anyway, Pink Angel, I'm out. I'll be back on later. Thank you for joining me. Join me later. Pink Angel out.